Good afternoon, Toastmasters and honored guests. I, Bidu Das, SAA Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club, welcomes you to our meeting number 679. Our mission is to provide a supportive learning environment which fosters members' communication and leadership skills. These skills help our members in both their personal as well as
Bidu, you are
professional life.
muted.
I think I'm muted.
I think you're not able to hear us, I think.
I'm audible, right?
Yes, Bidu, go ahead.
Okay. So Speech Weavers Club also aids our members to unlock their potential and thrive in diverse and multicultural environment. Before we begin, I request all the members to uphold the cardinal principles of Toastmasters Club. Number 1, keep your mic muted at all times except when you are speaking. Number 2, we prefer your videos to be on while you are speaking. Point number 3, role takers and speakers are encouraged to acknowledge and applaud the fellow role takers by virtual clapping. And the final point, role takers and speakers are advised to refrain from topics consisting of sex, religion, and politics. With this, I invite on stage our presiding officer, Toastmaster Shubhadeep. It is always an honor to welcome Toastmaster Shubhadeep on stage because, first of all, he is a veteran of Toastmasters, having completed almost 5 years here. He has reached director level in his professional ladder, often wears multiple hats. For example, he has achieved advanced communication goals and has attained multiple triple count awards. Currently, in addition to his presiding officer's role, he often assists the PR division by creating aesthetic posters. And in case you miss out, he is a seasoned guitarist. With this, I welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Shubhadeep.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bidu, for that warm introduction. And before we begin, I want to welcome each and every person today at Speech Weavers meeting number 679 with a big round of applause for everyone. Thank you for joining us this Friday on this special occasion of Janmashtami. People from India, most of us might be celebrating. People who have joined us across the globe, I see Gail is there, and then there is Stella as well. So first of all, welcome all of you to this meeting of Speech Weavers. And our club is actually very well known in this fraternity for creating a very warm and friendly environment for all its members. As we gather each week to fulfill the Toastmaster mission, which is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which our members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I declare meeting number 679 at Speech Weavers to order. Now, sorry. Now, before I introduce the Toastmaster of the day today, I see we have a couple of guests. Now let's, before I introduce Deepa, who is our Toastmaster for today's meeting, or the host for today's meeting, let's welcome our guests to just hear out how they heard about Speech Weavers, anything that they're expecting from this meeting. So first of all, let me call upon Toastmaster or the guest Gunjan. If you can share how you got to know about this meeting and anything that you are expecting, any thoughts?
Hello everyone, good evening. This is Gunjan Gupta. I'm an optimist as an HR. So last month we had one session organized by Toastmasters. So we joined that session in our organization, and there I came to know about how Toastmaster works, how it gives the platform to speak in public, helps. So actually I'm very you can say I actually hesitate in speaking in front of others. So this is the first expectation what I have, so that I can be confident and I'll go without any hesitation.
Definitely, Gunjan. You have definitely come to the right place, because Toastmasters definitely offer you that podium, that forum. We are a fraternity of over 5 million people, and there are people who are excellent speakers, leaders in their respective roles. Let me now welcome Gail. Gail, if you can hear me, if you can share a couple of words about yourself, how you got to know about Toastmasters and expectations from the meeting. Gail, if you're speaking, you're actually on mute. Okay, let's move on to our next guest, Triveni. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Triveni, do you want to share your thoughts? You need to unmute yourself. Adarsh, I'm audible, right? Okay.
Yeah, you are audible. Good evening, everyone. I'm Triveni.
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Triveni from Andhra Pradesh.
Great. Well, welcome to the meeting. So, Triveni, how did you come to know about this meeting at Speechweavers? Anything specific you're expecting from this meeting?
Yeah, I just randomly scrolling on WhatsApp. So, in a group, I saw this link, so I joined.
Sounds good. Hope you'll enjoy the meeting today. I'll now request our guest, Alish, if you can unmute yourself and share a couple of words.
Hi, Alice this side. About me, I'm software engineer. I was in Bangalore, so before COVID and after COVID, I just shifted to back home. About me, I got to know about this Toastmaster from my manager. He told me to join, and it's online. So because in my city there is no Toastmaster, and I was having conversation with my manager. He told me to join this. It's happening online, and you can join it up. So let's see how it goes.
Sure. Welcome to the meeting. There is another guest, Elango, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, good evening, Suvdeep. Yes, this is Ilango here. I'm from Del Sukti. Yeah. And I got it to know from WhatsApp group. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks, and welcome, Elango, to the meeting.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you,
I think, any other guest, others, if I have missed? Okay, so there is Toastmaster Yusuf as well. Toastmaster Yusuf, if you want to quickly share a couple of words about yourself and anything specific. All right, I guess. All right, I think now what we can do is without. Hey, Gail. Hey, I think that was Gail, right?
Yes. I just want to say, well, it's morning in the Bahamas. I am Toastmaster Gail Nairn Roberts. I am hailing from Nassau, Bahamas, and I would have met, I think, Deepa, I think that's her name. I think it was last year at TLI. So I've been in your chat group and I've tried to visit many times. So somehow this morning I was able to get in here again. So I'm happy to be here and experience your club meeting. Thank you so very much for having me and receiving me this day.
Sure, thanks and welcome, Gail. It really takes a lot to join the meeting at 7:30 in the morning. Welcome to this meeting. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for a quick introduction about yourself and expectations from the meeting. Now, without any further delay or ado, I'd like to welcome the Toastmaster of the day, or the host for today's meeting, which is none other than Toastmaster Deepa Sampath Kumar. Deepa, the stage is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, President Subhadeep, and a warm good evening to everybody here at Speechweavers Toastmasters Club. Meeting strangers, talking to strangers, that's a theme of today's meeting. Do you realize that each and every one of us, before we knew each other, were strangers to one another? I mean, I met Adarsh maybe 1.5 years ago. He was a stranger to me completely. I met Joseph sir at VWork one day. He was a complete stranger. Nelson one day, knew nothing about them. And then over a period of time, we developed our impressions, we learn about them. But how much truly do we know them, really? So let's ask people who have met each other and see how much they really know. So, I think Joseph sir has met. Are there anybody who have met each other some in a virtual place or even in a on location? I see Joseph sir has met Nelson and myself, and I've also met Shubhadeep. So let me just ask Shubhadeep. Shubhadeep, you have met Joseph sir in person. Have you met him in person?
No, not really.
Okay. Nelson? What about Nelson? I mean, Shubhadeep, I'm asking you.
Sorry, I thought you were asking that. Yeah, I have met Nelson at Weavers.
Okay, can you give me 3 adjectives or something that you feel about him, perspective? And let's check with Nelson, is it true? And how much of a stranger he still is to us? 3 adjectives to describe Nelson.
Okay. I would say calm. That's
Okay.
one. Affectionate. And I felt he is very honest. These are 3 that comes to mind immediately.
Well, nobody will decline the third one. Could you give another one, another adjective?
Yeah, another I felt is he's very much flexible because you know what the roles and everything. I felt that if I give him an alternate option as well, he's ready to take that up. So I felt he's flexible as well.
Nelson, how much of it is true? Tell me the truth. Are you calm? Are you affectionate? Are you flexible? You have to unmute yourself, Nelson.
Yeah, it is correct, Deepa. All of them give a correct answer.
Okay, then give it for Shubhadeep.
See my third answer, flexible, right? Even if it's wrong, he said that. That's good. And his affectionate as well. He did not want to hurt my feelings.
Well, maybe Nelson is still hiding things. I read a book called Talking to Strangers. It's by Malcolm Gladwell. I haven't completely completed it, but one of the conclusions of the book is we do not or we cannot decipher a stranger's intentions, no matter how much we learn about them. There is something called human opacity. We are not transparent. Sometimes not transparent to us, ourselves. We don't know ourselves. Forget about others. We don't know ourselves. So we are strangers to ourselves. We are strangers to one another. In what levels depends upon how much we know each other. One of the things that I read, which was very interesting, was about Hitler. So everybody know about Hitler, right? The dictator in Germany who almost killed the entire Jewish race in Germany and almost went on a rampage. Now, the Britishers, the British Prime Minister back then, Neville Chamberlain, the ambassador then, and some of the top advisors of the army hadn't seen Hitler at all. So they thought, we still don't know this person. If we meet him in person, we can understand just by the way he speaks, just by the way he behaves, we will be able to predict his behavior. All of them were wrong. And the ones who didn't meet him were actually right. Winston Churchill and a few others. And they only judged him on the basis of intentions, on the basis of actions, and they never ever saw what he was as a person. So one never knows, despite their body language, despite their behaviors, there's some part of our human nature which remains opaque. But then we do have to meet people. And what is the best approach to talk to them? And what do we do about this dilemma that we're stuck in? A little more on that in a little later. Now, I see a lot of guests here. I'm not sure how many of you are new to Toastmasters, but I'd like to tell you about Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a non-profit organization which is headquartered in the US. It's almost 100 years old. It was founded by a person called Ralph C. Smedley, and it's grown enormously around the world. The scale is such that we have more than 16,000 clubs in the world, 350,000 plus members, and we're present in 149 countries. We are world leaders in the space of leadership and communication development. This is a peer-to-peer learning experience where you can network, you can learn no matter what level of expertise you are in. Maybe you're a total beginner, maybe you are an expert speaker. There's something for everybody. More on that, you can always contact our VP membership, Adarsh. Adarsh, I request you to please post the numbers and contact details so that they can get in touch with you if they want to know more about how to join our club or anything about our club in general. In a Toastmasters meeting across the world, we have a format. A typical format is we have prepared speeches, we have table topics, and we have evaluation. So what is prepared speech? Prepared speech is where members are giving prepared speeches. It explains itself. The word explains itself. They would have prepared a speech and they present it to the audience at the club. And this is according to a curriculum that they are enrolled in. So Toastmasters enroll the members into an education program where they tutored on different aspects of communication and public speaking. And the second segment is table topics. Everybody loves table topics at Toastmasters. It's where you speak for 1 to 2 minutes on any subject that's given to you by someone called the table topics master. And the third segment is where the biggest learnings happen. This is where we evaluate each other. Maybe we have a strange mannerism we never noticed. Somebody is going to tell you, okay, I noticed this. You fidget your hand, you touch your earrings a lot, or you're nervous, you blink a lot, or you have a lot of ahs and ums. Your structure may be different in speech. These are the immediate feedback we get in every Toastmasters meeting, which elevates us as a speaker. With that said, let's move ahead with the meeting. And my job first is to introduce somebody called a general evaluator. And we have with us a gentleman who calls Saudi Arabia his home, India his home. Nowadays, he calls Malaysia and US as his home because he's now the area director at an area in North Carolina. So please give a big round of applause and welcome our general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Joseph Felix Benedict. You're muted, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. Is there a joke master before that?
We don't have a joke master today.
It is cancelled. It's already in the agenda.
Is it? Can anybody?
No, the voice is not audible properly. Joseph sir, you are logged in through 2 devices, and that's why maybe.
Bidu, there's no joke master, right?
No, there is no joke master.
Yeah, there's no joke master, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are. It's echoing.
Am I audible?
Yes, now it's clear.
Okay. Today I am playing. Good evening, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today I am playing the role of general evaluator. I'll be evaluating the entire meeting right from SAA to till the end of the meeting, just before the voting and so on, so forth. I would be also having my own evaluation. In addition to that one, I have 3 Toastmasters who are well equipped in their positions as a timer, counter, as well as the grammarian. So they will be helping me in their respective roles during the entire meeting. They will be doing their job, and finally they will report at the time when they are called for. Now I would like to ask our timer, Toastmaster Meena, to take the role of a timer and explain what is the position of a role taker in the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Meena.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph. Today, being your timer, it is my most important duty to notify the people in 3 different sections, that is table topics, prepared speech, and evaluation, to make sure that the people are well within the defined time. So for the benefit of the guests, I would be having 3 cards. Green, it is displayed when for table topics, it is displayed at 1 minute. For prepared speech, it is displayed at 5 minutes. And for evaluation, it is displayed at 2nd minute. And yellow is displayed as 1.5 minutes for table topics, 6 minutes for prepared speech, and 2.5 for evaluation. And red, this is the final card that is displayed at 2nd minute for table topics, 7th minute for prepared speech, and 3rd minute for the evaluation. So I wish all the speakers the very best, and I hope all of you stay well within the time. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meena, for the detailed explanation and the color cards you have showed to them. I hope it is very clear to even to the guest also. Now, coming to the R counter, I would like to invite Toastmaster Nelson. Toastmaster Nelson, you may kindly give your the role as a R counter. Over to you, Toastmaster Nelson.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of our counter is note the words and sounds that used as a crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks during the meeting. I will listen to overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. And I will also listen the filler sounds, including whom, and I will, and also I note that repeating words, I and again I, like that, and that means like that. At the end of the meeting, I will give the report to the evaluator, and this role will help you to improve our next speech and avoid this crutch and filler words. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nelson, for your clear explanation on your role. Now, I would like to call upon our grammarian today, Toastmaster Adarsh. Over to you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Thank you very much for that, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Joseph. When all of us are speaking, it's very important that we know where we have to improve. And most importantly, it's also important for us to know where we've excelled, because there are very few people around us that ever tell us that we're doing something really, really nice. And that's exactly what I'm here for today. I will be your grammarian today, and I'll be judging you on 3 parameters. That's right, 3 parameters as part of my evaluation. Number 1, areas where you excelled. That's right, areas where you excelled. And then as part of this, I'll judge your diction and see where you happen to use some excellent usages and usages that can get the audience off their seats. And number 2, I will be evaluating you on your areas of improvement, areas where you can actually improve. And as part of this, I'll be focusing on your diction. When I say diction, I mean your language usage. And I'll also focus on your enunciation. Enunciation is nothing but pronunciation. I'll try to focus on your pronunciation and how good it is and where you can possibly improve. And last but not the least, I'll also be evaluating you on the usage of the word of the day. That's right, we have something called a word of the day today, and that is bizarre. That's right, the word of the day for today is bizarre. It's spelled as B-I-Z-A-R-R-E. I'll be putting it up in the chat. And the meaning of the word bizarre is something very strange and unusual. There are some ways you can actually use the word bizarre. They are as follows. Number 1, I went to a house that looked very bizarre. Number 2, my neighbor next door looks very bizarre. I would encourage all of you to use the word of the day as part of today's meeting. And for anyone that happens to use the word of the day, I would like all of you to give a thumbs up to encourage the speaker. And before I close my intro as the grammarian, I'd like all of you to unmute yourselves. That's right, unmute yourselves and repeat after me. Unmute yourselves. That's right. That's right. You have 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. The word of the day for today is bizarre. Bizarre. That's right. That's the word of the day for today. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Agar, for a very digital explanation of your grammarian role. I would like to call upon the timer. May I know who is the timer today? Sorry, the listener today?
We don't have listeners, sir. We can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much for all my generals who have given their explanation on the role takers. Now I would like to hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Deepa. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Joseph. It's now time for prepared speeches. And we have two speakers today. The first speech is from the pathway called Dynamic Leadership, and the project is a level 1 project 2. Let's hear from the evaluator 1 what the objectives of speech 1 is. May I request Toastmaster Adarsh to please read out the objectives of the speech.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Deepa. I'll be evaluating our speaker's speech for today, and his speech is from a project called Writing a Speech with Purpose. The objective, as stated by him, for this speech is to deliver a fun-filled speech that not only entertains the audience, but also persuades and inspires with the importance of being calm, composed, set along with great sense of humor. So it's exactly what I happen to read, and I would like to wish my speaker the best, and I cannot wait to present my evaluation report. Back to you.
Thank you. So let's understand who this new stranger in our club is. Our first speaker, speaker number 1, is none other than Toastmaster Rangaraj, and he is coming from Baker Hughes Toastmasters Club. He's a Toastmaster enthusiast, an aspiring public speaker, enjoys long travel, reading.
Am I the only one who lost Deepa?
No, I think everybody lost. So what I'll do is we'll just wait for 10 seconds. Can you give that much time to her? All right. So on behalf of Deepa, I would try to introduce Rangaraj. So Toastmaster Rangaraj is a lead engineer from Fleet Management and Sustainability Projects, with having almost 10 years experience in Baker Hughes. He's a Toastmaster enthusiast and aspiring public speaker. He enjoys long travel, reading books, listening to podcasts, and spirituality. But the topic is, I am not very sure, so probably Rangaraj would come on stage and also tell his topic. Over to you, Toastmaster Rangaraj. You're not audible. Can you check your mic?
I'm back. Is it red, or should I read out the speech title?
Deepa, you can share the speech title. In the meantime, Rangaraj, your mic is muted.
Okay, I think I lost the speech title, but I think mind is a magical key, right, Toastmaster Rangaraj? Mind is a magical key. Please welcome speaker number 1, Rangaraj M. We can't hear you.
Still not audible.
I think in case if he tries disconnecting his headphones, he might probably have a better chance. Toastmaster Rangaraj, you can try disconnecting a headphone. That might probably help you. I'm not sure.
Not audible still.
No. Yeah.
Toastmaster Rangaraj, shall I slot you after the second speaker? Shall I bring in the... Okay. So we'll move ahead with the second speech while Rangaraj corrects his audio connection. Our second speaker is attempting her presentation mastery pathway. The project is level 1, project 2. It's speech number 2, which is after feedback is received. May I request Evaluator 2 Toastmaster Vanshika to please read out the objectives of our speaker.
Hello, everyone at Speech Weavers. I hope I'm visible and audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So I will be evaluating Toastmaster Nimisha. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply that feedback to the second speech. And the member should demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from their first speech. So wishing Toastmaster Nimisha all the very best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vanshika. Now it's time for me to introduce stranger number 2 in the room. Now she is somebody who defines herself as a very enthusiastic, committed, and passionate educator who always loves exploring new things. And her life's philosophy is that learning never stops because life never stops teaching. Let me read out the speech title now. Please bear with me as I scroll through the agenda sheet. I just lost it while the connection went away. Keep calm and hike on. Keep calm and hike on. Toastmaster Nimisha Gaur. Please give a big round of applause to cheer her up.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right. How many of you have never climbed a hill? Rare, right? How many of you have climbed a mountain? Not many, right? All right. How many of you are planning to go for hiking? Most of us. Right. Good evening, everyone. Today, I will be sharing my first thrilling experience. Let me go back to 2003. It was during the sultry summer breaks. With the thirst for adventure, my friend and I decided for off the beaten track to beat the heat. After hours of exploration, we had finalized Sar Pass track in Kasol, a charming, tiny Himachal town with an altitude of approximately 14,000 feet. You know, when my friend mentioned about the place, the only thing which I could visualize was the snow-capped mountains, lush green forest, silver mountain streams, and their gushing sounds, which I had only read about in the storybooks, novels, and poems. Well, I was indeed living in the fantasy world, totally unaware of the uphill grins, the high altitude, the amount of kilometers to be covered daily, the sharp and the pointed rocks, and of course, the snow that would make you fall more than you walk. The list is endless. Excitement level was on top when I received the mail about the final confirmation, which said the level of this track is moderate to difficult. Wow, that should be fine, Nimisha, I told to myself. Finally, the D-Day arrived, and here I was with my backpack. I was very enthusiastic and eager to explore the wild forest and the mountains of my dream. The first 3 days in the base camp, prior to the actual track, were like a roller coaster ride. Acclimatization days with morning workout, tracks to get the real picture of our fitness level, rock climbing and rappelling training, and whatnot. The actual training started on the 4th day with climbing mountains for 10 to 12 hours a day, climbing mountains in a slippery and steep rocks. It was a jaw-dropping experience with a lot of fun and learning from nature. A campfire, talent show, and antakshari at night used to boost up our energy and mind. As we proceed towards the top, the trail was dangerous. There were points when it was extremely slippery and narrow. In the snow, and one mistake, and we fall slip. And you know, that happened to me. A small misstep, and I slipped and slid down the mountain. Thank God, I was lucky. The track master, the leader, who was a pro, he immediately lifted me up. There I learned my lesson, how to walk on snow. Would you like to know how to walk on snow? All right. So walk like a penguin. You know how the penguin walks? Turn your feet slightly outward. Hook your heels on snow and take short and flat-footed steps. Well, I had done it. In spite of a prior experience with no experience at all in tracking, I had reached Sark Pass, which is considered as the most challenging and advanced track. At the top, the joy was radiant on everybody's face. We got some time before dawn, which we completely utilized in taking pictures, throwing snowballs at each other, and appreciating the beauty of nature. The end of the track was very, very scary. You know why? Because we had to slide down for almost 1 kilometer at an angle of 45 degrees. But it was another crazy experience with joy. And you know what happened when we slid down? It was like practically we burnt our butts with friction. Successfully completed my first track with more energy and self-confidence. Came back home with sunburn on my face, swelling toes, an entire body in pain. But my heart and soul felt light and were in serenity. Every journey has an end, but what matters the most are the memories we create while we are traveling. Next time, when you plan for a vacation, keep some adventure in your bucket list. I am ready with my planning chart. Are you? Thank you so much.
Sorry, that was quite the hike. Well described. Enjoyed the word play. Please give Toastmaster Nimisha a big round of applause. And now we go to our speaker one. Let's check if his audio is back in form. Toastmaster Rangaraj, shall we have your audio video check, please? I can't see you. Toastmaster Rangaraj, could you unmute yourself? I see you're logged in 2 accounts. I still don't hear anything from you. Okay.
I think he is trying to connect. I think we can give him 10 more seconds.
Yes, Deepa.
Yeah, I was trying to connect.
Yes, you're clear and you're audible.
I don't know whether it is through my mobile or laptop. I have back to back.
It's okay. I'll spotlight you. The audio is pretty much clear. So you can start the speech.
Yes, great, sir.
Toastmaster Rangaraj's speech is Mind is a Magical Key. Mind is a Magical Key by Toastmaster Rangaraj.
Once again, I'm confirming, as my audio and video clear?
Yes, crystal clear.
Thank you. Then it is power of my mobile, not a laptop. So dear friends, how many of you feel that the moment you come on stage, your leg gets shiver, your heartbeat slowly goes up, you feel little warm, and you get bizarre in front of the audience? Put all them together, you will find me. I started my Toastmasters journey with G. John F. Welch Technology Center. I feel literally shiver when I get onto the stage and talk in front of people. You know, now I'm little confident because I'm joining in virtual meeting. So there is a saying called haste makes waste. And when we continuously remain calm, composed in a situation where that gives challenge to us, you know, you can certainly overcome that situation, like how it happened just now before in terms of connecting the meeting. You know, there is a power when you remain calm, composed, and inculcate a sense of humor. You can turn the negative and worst situation into a positive outcome. You know, there was a boy in a village who was like some 10 to 12 years old boy. His duty is daily to supply eggs to the nearby villages and town shops. One fine morning, he took his bicycle and he piled up 20 trays of eggs behind, tied, and he started his daily work. On one corner, one turn, he slipped. Cycle fall down and cycle fell down and eggs trays fell on the road. Everything got broken. He was terribly injured. It was bleeding and he was crying. In few seconds, crowd surrounded him. They felt very sorrow and pity about that boy. He was crying. In a minute, there is a pass-byer in a motorcycle. He stopped. He came, saw inside what happened in the crowd. He came near to that boy. Boy, don't cry. Take this 100 rupees. Let it help in your situation. He kept it inside his pocket and he left. By seeing that incident, everyone in that group, they started contributing the little some penny what they had. In the last, there was a elderly man who came near to that boy, said, "My dear boy, I have only just 2 rupees with me. I don't know whether it can help you in some way or the other. But you remember one thing, you never ever forget in your life after you grow up, you never ever forget that the first person who tried helping you, because of that, you know how it is now." He said he was crying and he was telling, "Grandpa, so that is he is the owner of my poultry actually. I was very much worried whether I will lose my job. Somehow, so just think that what could have been the situation that motorcyclist, he came, he slapped that boy. That boy had indeed collected much more money than that actual investment of that egg tray. Isn't it mind is a magical key here? Instantaneously thinking what to do in that situation can overcome us. But to happen it, we should always remain like childlike nature, not a childish nature. To elucidate more on this, one of our freedom fighters, Chitrandan Das, let me call it him Das, one of his train journeys during nighttime, midnight, he was the only one in the compartment. The next station, a lady onboarded, and she was looking little bizarre. And she sat opposite to Chitranjan Das, and she was noticing his costly watch, chain, and whatnot, his belongings nearby. He said, "Hey man, you remove your watch, chain, you give me all your valuables to me. If not, I'll pull chain, I'll complain police by telling that you harassed me." Mr. Das perplexed and he becomes speechless, but instantaneously he thought through and he took both his hands to his ears. Huh? Kya? Can you repeat? She repeated twice. He pretended to be deaf. Again, he pretended to be deaf and shown a gesture. Can you write it in a paper? She wrote it in a paper and given to Das. Mr. Das, instantaneously, he himself put down the chain, handed over her to the police. You know, the momentary action from us saves us. A story is a story. A poor coffin maker got an order from a villager, and he's very well known for making a coffin, but he's a poor man. He got an order, he prepared a very good coffin, took on a vehicle, he wanted to deliver, but it was around 11:30, 12 in the midnight. During the travel, his vehicle got broken down. Then he was worried. He was very disciplined guy. He wanted to hand over the coffin to the person, maybe the customer. But with his dedication, he took the coffin on his head. He traveled on the road in the midnight. It was very dark. Opposite, there was a policeman who was traveling and approaching towards him. He immediately got to know that this policeman is going to get some money from me. So on getting to that, policeman approached near to him. "Hey man, what is your name? Where are you coming from? What is there on your head?" He said, "Sir, the place I got buried is very much suffocating and I couldn't breathe also. So I'm taking my coffin in search of finding a new place." Guys, you know, the momentary response and momentary thing, what we do saves us a lot. So, this is my speech, like mind is always a magical key. And with a childlike nature and sense of humor, we can overcome a negative worst situation, convert into a positive thing for us. Over to you, TM Deepa. Thank you.
Give Toastmaster Rangaraj a big round of applause. Oh my goodness, Toastmaster Rangaraj, the details of that story that you brought in was amazing. I could visualize the scenes, so kudos to you on that. So now let's move to the most exciting part of every Toastmasters meeting, which is the table topic segment. And this is going to be hosted by none other than our VP Education, Toastmaster Bidu. But before I give him the stage, I have I've asked Adarsh to come up with three, over the chat, I asked him to think about 3 negative adjectives or negative descriptions of Bidu, because he's met Bidu in Gurgaon a couple of months back. So he must have some kind of impressions on Bidu, and he's interacted pretty well. So let's see how many he gets right. And Bidu, you have to be honest. How many he got right and what he didn't get right. So Adarsh, what did you come up with?
All right, I have the utmost privilege of describing Bidu. I'm not really sure as to how fascinated he's going to be by what I'm about to say, but these are three things that I was able to think of in the last couple of minutes when I was asked this question. And this is something, I think this is where Deepa in my mind sort of needs, because she had put up an adjective describing Bidu on the chat that I was able to relate with. And I'll get to that as part of the 3 adjectives I'm going to mention. So firstly, he wears glasses, which is totally fine, but he does it. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And secondly, he takes ages to reply to my messages on WhatsApp. He almost never replies to them. And there are times when I see those blue ticks on WhatsApp and I wonder what he's doing exactly. And number three, he does not have a girlfriend. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Well, Adarsh, you disappointed me on the first two. So, Bidu, what's the answer? Is the third one correct? How many girlfriends have you had so far? Or haven't you had any?
Since Adarsh is also playing the role of a grammarian, how are these the adjectives? I understand.
No, not adjectives. I told him description.
Descriptions, not adjectives. She had mentioned adjectives, but I misinterpreted and I used it to my advantage.
All right. So I would say point number 3 is up to my discretion. And number 2 would be
true, false, at least true, false. Come on. The statement he gave.
Yeah,
right.
I would prefer it to be discreet for some time. Point number 2, I would emphasize more upon. So he is right. I do respond late, but again, that's something he could have figured out without even meeting me. The reason is I do take time to process information. I suddenly don't reply because I am doing something else. So I just take some time to revert back. Sometimes it works for me. Sometimes it is a problem for the other person who is looking out for the information from me. But I'm working on it. I think the one way to rectify is to do less multitasking.
But I think Adarsh wanted to ask you whether is it because you don't like him, maybe.
No, that's something which everyone faces. It's not only Adarsh.
Okay, cool. So we have a very discreet person there who replies late to everybody. So well described, Adarsh. You got 2 of them right. The first one I kind of forgot. So let's proceed to the table topics round. Bidu has, I'm sure he has a wonderful set of topics to tickle us, bizarre topics to scare us. Over to the table topics, Master Bidu.
Thank you so much again, Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Deepa. Good evening again, Toastmasters and guests. I am excited to host all of you into this most interesting segment of Toastmasters meeting, which is called the table topics. Table topics is one of my favorite segments. I enjoy hosting this segment always. The reason is it is the table topics where speakers like Toastmaster Rangaraj, Toastmaster Nimisha must have perfected the craft. It is also the segment where I got introduced to Toastmasters. So this segment is pretty close to my heart. And this segment is actually gives speakers a lot of good things. They can develop the ability to organize their thoughts. They can respond to impromptu topics and whatnot, especially to tackle the nerves of coming onto the stage. So in this topic, I have prepared a few topics. A few are quirky, a few might be bizarre, but most of the topics are pretty decent for today's meeting because the topics are in line with the theme and also in the festive season that we are currently in. I encourage maximum participation from today's wonderful guests because this might actually be your chance to speak something in this meeting. And for the benefit of the speaker and the guest, I would say the time limit is 1 to 2 minutes. So you would be shown green at 1, yellow at 1.5, and red at 2 minutes. So for the first topic, I would like to encourage one of the guests. If someone wants to volunteer, they can raise their hand. And show me an indication that they are volunteering. Else I would start calling out names. Yes, I can see one. Yes, Elias. All right. First of all, welcome to Speechweavers meeting, Elias. So the topic for you is, also I'll put it in the chat box. The topic is, do you wish to share your Uber with a stranger or ride the distance alone? I repeat, do you wish to share your Uber with a stranger or ride the entire distance alone? Over to you.
Have you shared in the Zoom chat the question?
Yes, it is in the chat. Sorry, I just put.
Not here. I
Right now it is.
didn't see.
I just
okay. Because I didn't see it. Do you wish to share your Uber with a stranger or rather at the distance alone? Okay. Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I visible?
Yes.
Okay, I start. Ladies and gentlemen, what comes in your mind when you are going in an Uber with a stranger? You feel strange, right? Or do you feel happy that you can have someone to talk with? Well, I am in the side that I need the private space in my Uber, because I go with Uber. It means that I went to commute from point A to point B, or from point B to point C, and then come back again to point A. I need my private time. I need to have a call with my friend. I need to have a chat with my friend. I don't want strangers to disturb me during this conversation and saying, I'm typing with my friend, and then, what are you typing? I'm calling with my friend. Oh, okay, okay. Good advice. Strange, right? So what are you going to do with them that they ask your number, for example? Oh, sir, it seems that you are a good businessman. Can we have your number? I cannot really share my number to stranger. I cannot really share the connection from me or to them directly for the first time, for the first chance to meet. But in sometimes I need to learn also that we can connect with strangers, and the best thing that we can connect is by going to take the Uber itself. I got a mentor that he said that every chance you got the chance to network, you should use it well. So I changed my mindset, and I try to take the dare from my mentor by networking be totally stranger, and then I get some new friend from the strange conversation, of course, and from this greeting there is another business that we have together. That's all. Back to you, TTM.
Thank you so much, Elias, for sharing this interesting insight on how to speak to strangers on your Uber ride. Now, I can see a lot of hands raised, but I am going to invite some guests who are actually keeping silent. I would like to invite on stage guest Gunjan. Gunjan, are you there?
Yes.
All right. So the topic for you is, are festive days essential to sustain humanity and community living? I repeat, are festive days essential to sustain humanity and community living?
Festivals definitely are a time when we celebrate not only with family, within family, but also with the people you are living, the people who are living around you. So, if I will say, like in my society, we are celebrating Janmashtami in a huge, in a grand way. Plus, we are going to celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi as well. So, there is a festival mode, and people are in that mood to enjoy, to have that connect with others, or else we are just busy in our lives. So festival is the time when actually we get time to connect with others. Kids, they definitely enjoy during those festival times. And festival definitely gives you that vibes, which which you can connect with others, which makes you connected with others, as well as your religion and all. So festival is definitely a good. We should celebrate not only within family but also with the in the community with the others who are living around you.
Thank you so much.
That's all.
Thank you so much. So now we would move on to the next person who is also raising hand. Marutesh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible. But if you like, you can turn on your video as well.
Yeah.
All right. So the topic for you is, if you had to introduce yourself to a stranger, how would you do it? I repeat, if you had to introduce yourself to a stranger, how would you do it?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster. Yeah, if I want to introduce my stranger, I used to tell about. I will first. I will show the impression in my body language to talk with you. When he connect with me to talk, I will slowly tell about the weather. Weather is so much hot today. Like that, I used to talk with them, and slowly I will ask you. I will ask where you want to go here from another place. Then when they replied, I will ask them about their job or hobbies, like that. Then even I will also, if it is related to me, I will also introduce. Yeah, I will also like to do the yoga or play tennis, and I'll tell my profession about me. I am in this profession since this time, like that. It's meeting the stranger. It's very nice. Even it's a good platform in Toastmasters also. I met a lot of strangers. I got an opportunity to meet a lot of strangers. Really, during this COVID, many strangers become friend for me, and I had more than 100 friends during these 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marutesh, for sharing this insight of you. I think the point that you made, how is the weather, is one of the most universal questions that every person who doesn't know the other person asks. And sometimes it spins into a totally different conversation about weather and you don't know how to stop it. Anyways, so now moving on to the next speaker, I would like to invite Jyotika Tak. Jyotika, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So the topic for you is, which is your favorite festival and why?
I love Diwali as a favorite festival because in Diwali everyone comes home and the lights we put in our house, the rangoli and the cleanliness we do before that, and everything. The vibe of the Diwali is so amazing. It gives us a happiness inside us. That's why I love Diwali.
You have a little bit of more time. You can explain your second favorite festival if you have.
Second festival, like Holi. Holi is also very good festival. In that we celebrate like we are a mad kind of a person. We can do anything. We can throw colors on each other. So it's a beauty of a color that we have in our life. We can't live a black and white life, right? We can live in a beautiful color so that we can enjoy every colors of our life. That I love of that festival.
Thank you so much, Jyotika. I think you mentioned two of the most widely celebrated festivals of India, the Festival of Colors and Festival of Light. So I have one more topic, and for this topic, I want a Toastmaster to come on board, please. Timer Meena, you are a part of Toastmasters, correct? All right. So just give me a minute. I have a special topic for you.
Meantime, can anyone please take up the timing?
Meena, I think I can step up. I can be the
Thank you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
A couple of minutes.
Thank you, Adarsh. Meena, so the topic for you is, who is your favorite Toastmaster? Who happened to be a stranger when you joined Toastmasters, but now is very, very familiar to you? I repeat, who is your favorite Toastmaster who happened to be a stranger when you joined Toastmasters, but now is very, very familiar to you?
Being a very shy kid right from my childhood, networking was always the toughest task I ever had. To break the shell and come out, interact with people was not really an easy job for me. Toastmasters was definitely one of the stepping stones to break the shell of shyness and establish networks. And in the due course of time, also the Speechweavers Club, I completely dropped in as a stranger at one point of time. And now I have a lot of Toastmasters here whom I know in person, where I've taken up roles, where I've worked together. And one special mention is my mentor, Toastmaster Deepa. Because when I joined, she was the first person, she was giving her speech. I hardly knew anything about her. It was a kind of an interactive speech with the audience. And at that time, she asked a couple of questions. I jumped in. I was giving some answers. It was kind of very comfort zone that was established. And at very moment, even before I knew anything about her, I felt she should be my mentor. And only in later stages, I knew what she is and what kind of activities or initiatives she takes up. And every time she puts up a status, I always torture her saying, I want to be part of it. I want to be part of this. Please pull me in. Please pull me there. And I'm sure even if a couple of days I've not sent out a message to her, I will get back to her and say, hey, Deepa, in fact, yesterday it happened. I reached out to her and told, hey, Deepa, we didn't connect for a couple of days, and reminder, you had to share this to me. So she's very patient enough to undergo all the tortures that I throw at her. And patiently, she's always willing to help. And she always steps forward with creative ideas. That is something which I really like about. And because it's just one mention of Toastmaster, it's Toastmaster Deepa. And thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Vidhu.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Meena. I like how you mentioned, because it is one and it is Deepa. So Deepa, big congratulations that if someone has to pick one, they are selecting you. I don't know how many people you are mentoring. If Toastmaster had a Dronacharya award, I think it would have gone to you definitely, because of the number of people you are mentoring and actually making them rise up to the best of potential that they can. So with this, I have to call an end to this particular segment because of lack of time. I could see 2 more hands raised, but because of time constraints, I have to stop this. So thank you so much, Elias, Marutesh, Kunjan, Meena, Jyotika, to have been who participated very enthusiastically in this segment. I now hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Deepa.
Thank you, Vidhu, for wonderfully executing the table topic segment. All of them lined up with something about strangers and bringing out the theme alive, making them think about strange situations, bizarre situations, and taking them a little out of the comfort zone. I hope you all enjoy the table topics, and I hope many of you are imagining what I would have answered if I were the person who was given the topic. So never mind, just take one of these topics, go back home, record yourself with the answer that you would have come up with. And if you are interested, I have put up a link for a WhatsApp group on table topics. You are all welcome to join that as well. And now it's time for evaluation, where somebody is all ears, all eyes at every single person and has been noting down all the details about what went right and what didn't go right. I would like to welcome Toastmaster Joseph back on our stage, the General Evaluator. You're muted, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Deepa, for giving me back the stage, and good evening once again to all the ladies and gentlemen. I would like to go ahead with first of all, the evaluation part of it. I would ask the first evaluator, Toastmaster others, to give you the evaluation of Speaker Rangarajan. Over to you, Toastmaster others.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joseph, and a special hello to my speaker, Toastmaster Rangarajan. By the way, I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm not going to beat around the bush for a long time. I'm going to quickly go ahead and say that you met all the objectives of your project. So of the speech purpose that you put up had 3 key elements. The first element was a fun-filled speech. The second element was a humorous speech. And the last element that you wish to achieve as part of your speech was to bring in some level of inspiration. And I can say for a fact that you happen to achieve all 3 of them. And kudos on that. Now, I'm going to quickly go ahead and talk about areas where you truly excel as part of your speech. I loved the way you opened the speech because it really got everybody's attention. I love the fact that you posed a question, a very relatable question to ask a Toastmasters, especially given the number of guests that we have in the room today. The question that you posed was, how many of you felt the shivers when you stepped on the stage? I think this is one question that all of us would say yes to, or maybe would have said yes to at some point in time in the past. Very relatable. Thank you very much for that. Very, very engaging. And you went towards the body of your speech, wherein you spoke about some incidents that were in line with the title of the speech, which was "Mind is a Magical Key." And I can tell you for a fact that all three incidents were on par with what you want to achieve. I think the first incident was involving a boy delivering eggs, and I think it was very, very relatable. And then you spoke about an incident involving a famous figure, Chitranjan Das, pretty nice, no doubt about it. And last but not the least, you also spoke about a humorous incident involving a person carrying a coffin. I thought for a fact that all three of them were relatable and well within the lines of what you want to achieve. And now coming to certain areas where you can improve. And these are key elements I would like you to consider as part of your next speech, because you achieved everything from the perspective of verbal communication. As far as delivering a speech is concerned, it was spot on. It was everything that you would have expected, everything that I would have expected from you. But there are certain areas where I want you to work on, and those are nothing but your gestures. Your gestures were almost entirely missing for a good amount of time, especially at the start. I think when you post a question, I think it would have been nice had you put your hands forward instead of keeping them behind your back. It would have been nice had you showed them to us, and maybe that could have grabbed our attention even more. And then your camera positioning is one more thing that you have to work on, but that's one of those fundamental things that all of us have a problem with in this online era, but that's besides the point. I'd like you to work on that. And last but not the least, and this is one area where I'd like you to clearly work on, and that is your transitioning. Now, your transition, the way you transition from one incident to another was truly remarkable, but towards the end, I think you sort of let me down, because I remember after the third incident, you were sort of clueless, you stuttered a bit, you had a very hard time with what you had. You weren't exactly aware as to what you wanted to speak at that time, so you clearly pushed towards the closing note, which was the title of the speech itself. You mentioned mind is a magical key. You spoke about the third incident, and you instantly mentioned the speech title, and you closed the speech. I think there was a call to action that I felt that was lacking towards the end of the speech. If you could bring that in, then I'm pretty confident that your speech will be good to go. On that note, that is my evaluation. Thank you very much for that speech. I cannot wait to hear from you again. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adarsh. I have one humble suggestion to the first speaker. The first speaker was having one tone from the beginning to the end. He has not shown any little bit of emotion when the boy lost all his eggs. He should also do the stage management when stating that the boy fell down. You should look at the boy and see that the feeling has to be exhibited. That's one point. And the second thing is that voice modulus also is required because of the feelings you are showing. So these are the two humble suggestions for me. I hope your speech is really very good and very interesting rather. At the same time, kudos to you. But if you could take up these little bit, then you will go further in a higher level. And I wish you all the best in the next episode of your speeches. Thank you so much. Let us clap hands to the speaker as well as the evaluator. Now I call upon the second evaluator, Toastmaster Vamsika, to evaluate the speech of Speaker Vinisha Gaur. Over to you, Toastmaster Vanishka.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph. Good evening, everyone. Keep calm and hike on. What an intriguing title and an even wonderfully delivered speech. Congratulations, Toastmaster Nimisha, on completing your project so successfully. As your evaluator, listener, and an avid traveler myself, I could totally relate to the enthusiasm you and your friend had to explore something out of your comfort zone. Gaining feedback is also part of the same process. So let me start with the things that you excelled at. You started with a question, and that immediately gets the audience listening in. I was immediately thinking, okay, where is this going? What is she going to talk about? And that is a great way to generate some interest. Then you also gave us details. You said, okay, this is the location my trek is happening. This is the difficulty level of my trek. And that gets me intrigued even further. Okay, did she even complete it? Okay, how hard really could it be? There were so many things in my mind that I wanted to keep listening more and more. You had great pace and enthusiasm. Your content was very well structured, just like your trek, starting from the planning phase with lessons learned along the way. Now, in any speech, the delivery is 50% of the job. And Toastmaster Nimisha, yours was a job very well done. You used your hand gestures and movement to paint us a picture of what walking on the snow feels like, how steep the climb was, and how afraid you were when you fell. Each step had me hooked in deeper. So kudos to you on that. Now, the second thing is things that you want to work on. First of all, just a reminder, I did not get the first speech feedback provided to me, so I'm not sure what was the feedback that you incorporated, but this is, I
Did we lose Vanshika?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you guys hear and see me?
Yes, you're on.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll continue. Things that you may want to work on. Like I said, that your gestures were something that were really great. I would also focus on the part that when we do something really well, we also tend to overdo it a little bit. So let's try to focus on not doing that. Because even though your hand gestures and movements were perfect, since this is also a little online and you were standing, I felt like the eye contact wasn't really there. There were points where I was losing you a little bit because I thought you were so engrossed in moving your hands in a roller coaster kind of a way. So I would like it if you would look at us directly sometimes, change your tonality, and try to, when something sad or something happy happens, you look at us and try to portray it with your eyes also instead of just your hands. We don't want to be distracted as an audience, basically. And the third thing is that I felt your conclusion could be a little bit more power packed. I am someone who moves to the next thing so quickly. Sometimes I may forget what was the point connecting everything. So you might want to summarize how you felt towards the end. Now, challenging ourselves as speakers is also what brings Toastmasters the most joy and fear. So for your upcoming speeches, I noticed today that there were a few grammatical errors in the way the content was written. So I would suggest that you take up some language practice and try to write a script that suits your speaking style. You've already picked a story that you feel comfortable talking about. Now you can adapt more. Instead of just putting in good words, try to adapt in a way that you speak. Where do you take pauses? How do you feel when you want to say something, and how much you want to highlight it? Try to accommodate it to the way you speak normally, and I think there's tremendous potential for this to get even more better. With that, I think I've come to the end of my evaluation. Wishing you the very best for all your further speeches. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vanshika, for your detailed explanation. I concur with you the points you have raised for the speaker. I have some humble suggestions to the speaker is, the glasses, the eyeglass you are wearing was very shiny, and you are not actually looking into the audience. On the other hand, you are looking into your script that you are written. It doesn't matter, but at the same time, much of your eye contact should be with the audience. You can always read your script, but eye contact is the most important thing that one has to do. The second humble suggestion would be your stage management. It appears that the leg point is, you are on the pivot, fixed on it, only the body, the oscillation from the top of your body, which is not a perfect way of body language. Your body language, you should move from left to right or right to left. And the action that you are speaking on also should be exhibited while you are speaking to the audience. These are the 2 points I would like to add. And your expression, your delivery was really good. I concur with her. And I wish you best of luck in the next speech by correcting all the suggestions that we have given to you. Thank you so much. Let us give a big applause for the evaluator as well as the speaker. Now, I would like to give my opinion about the table topic. The first person who talk about it, do you wish to share your Uber on road on a ride alone? The table topic speaker has started with a good this one message and abruptly ended without any what to say the message that has to be given to them. And since it is a 2-minute speech, one has to really take care. We have to have your what you call the gesture as well as the message is important. Coming to Gunjan, choosing the time for connecting celebration. I would suggest that this is a 2-minute speech. You have to stand and deliver this one with the sub gestures and also with a little bit of vocal variety. When you are saying that your celebration, you should express in your face the joy of the celebration. Now, coming to the next speaker, if you had to introduce a stranger, never say thank you. You just go ahead with your subject because you have only 2 minutes to speak on, and therefore you should have it. And moreover, you should not look all other directions, but you have to look into the audience and deliver your speech and with a gesture and finally with a good message. These are the requirements of impromptu speech. Now coming to Jyotika, which is a favorite the subject was which is your favorite?
Favorite festival.
Favorite festival and why? Jyotika, I have not seen you on the video. You are behind the video and we do not know, but we could hear your voice. And it's generally suggested that the impromptu speech is only 2 minutes and it would be wise enough to open your video so that we could evaluate in a better way. The last one is, who is your favorite Toastmaster? That was Toastmaster Meena. Meena, you really started very well and you have given also your hand gesture. It would have been better you could stand for 2 minutes during this your impromptu speech so that your hand gestures and any body language could be at least seen. And the message was very good when you ended with. So I wish all the table topic speakers a big round of applause, as well as the table topic master who have conducted very well in line with your today's theme. Now I would call upon our timer. Is Nelson is available? Toastmaster Nelson?
Timer
Available,
is
sir. Available.
Toastmaster.
Sorry.
Minus Miss Meena. Team Meena.
Okay. Toastmaster Meena, can you explain your the result of your observation?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph. Now, International Speech Contest is happening at Nashville. One thing that's common amongst all the great speakers is they're well within the time to avoid being disqualified. So I'm really happy to say that all the prepared speeches and the table topic speakers are well within the time today. Speaker 1 at table topics, Toastmaster guest Elios took 2 minutes 14 seconds. Toastmaster Gunjan took 1 minute 10 seconds. Toastmaster Marutesh took 1 minute 52 seconds. Toastmaster Jyotika took 1 minute 5 seconds. And Toastmaster Meena took 1 minute 53 seconds. Coming to the next session, prepared speech. Speaker 1, Toastmaster Rangaraj took 6 minutes 55 seconds. And Speaker 2, Toastmaster Nimisha took 7 minutes 6 seconds. Coming to the evaluation aspect, Toastmaster Adarsh, being the first evaluator, took 3 minutes 28 seconds, and Toastmaster Vanshika, being the second evaluator, took 4 minutes 15 seconds. So this is the timer report for today, and over to you, Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meena, for your wonderful report that you have observed. Now I call upon the ha counter, Toastmaster Nelson. Over to you, Toastmaster Nelson.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I not found much crutch, pause, and fillers. Here's some few things I can share with you. Speaker Rangaraj, some pause and few so, and you use few words. And Evaluator Vanchika used some as and so. TMB2 used one time her, and ever in table topic session, Mr. Elias used well and as few times. Mr. Kunjan used some pause and as. Mr. Mantesh used pause and few like that. And Ms. Jyotika used some as and few likes. That's it. Over to the general letter.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nelson, for the kind report you have mentioned. Now I'm going to ask Toastmaster Adarsh to give his report on a grammarian.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joseph. It is that time of the meeting where I present my report as the grammarian for today's meeting. And I can tell you for a fact that a lot of you truly excelled, but that is something I will mention as part of my report. And as I previously mentioned, I have 3 pillars, that is 3 facets, three facets of my report. Number 1 is areas where you excelled. Number 2 is areas where you can improve. And as part of this, I will evaluate your diction, that is your language usage, and your enunciation, your pronunciation, in other words. And last but not the least, I'll also evaluate you on your usage of the word of the day, which I feel a bit disappointed by, but I'll get that in a moment. Now, starting off with our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Deepa. And I can tell you for a fact that Deepa had a lot of nouns. She had a lot of noun usages as part of her speech. She mentioned a book called Talking to Strangers by a writer by the name, it was written by a writer called Malcolm Gladwell, which I believe is very interesting for all of us. Maybe all of us will go back home and grab ourselves a copy of that book and sit down and read. I'm not sure. There were some really incredible anecdotes as part of your speech as the Toastmaster of the day, and you described an incident involving Winston Churchill, which was an amazing usage as well. There were several other usages that I was able to find, but unfortunately I cannot mention as part of my report because that will leave me speaking for another hour. Thank you very much. Our speaker 1, Toastmaster Rangarajan, had some incredible usages. Firstly, I must commend you on your ability to tell a story. I think that was truly brilliant. And I think one of the most important usages as part of your speech was the speech title itself. And I think it gave a wonderful introduction of what you were trying to tell. It was mind is a magical key. Wonderful. Speaker 2, Toastmaster Nimisha, she had a load of adjectives as part of her speech, a load of adjectives, but I was only able to spot a few, and I have managed to make a note of them as part of my immediate report. And they are as follows: sultry summer breaks, snow-capped mountains, lush green forests, and there was more and more. Thank you very much for that. That was really brilliant of you. As part of our table topic session, we had one speaker. Now we had several speakers. as part of the session, and all of them were incredible. But there was one usage that I happened to find pretty interesting. Of course, it's not a very interesting usage from when you hear it, but it is actually a great usage on paper. It's an anaphora, and it was mentioned by Toastmaster Elias. He mentioned, "I need to have a call. I need to spend time," and he also mentioned another sentence as part of that. And that was an incredible usage. Thank you very much for that. We also had the voice modulation to back it up, which made it even better. And now coming to areas where I can improve, and there's a part where I evaluate your language usage. Obviously, I'm not going to mention any names because all of us here are learning. It is not, do your legs get shiver? It is, do your legs get the shivers? It is not, I feel shiver. It is, I feel the shivers. It is not, let it help in your situation. It is, let it help with your situation. It is not, I pull chain. It is, I pull the chain, or I will pull the chain, or something along the lines of that. It depends on the context. It is not, I'm in this profession since. It is, I have been in this profession since. And as part of enunciation, which was another facet that I had as part of my mind while presenting this grammarian report. And I can tell you for a fact that a lot of you truly excel. The evaluators, everybody were truly spot on with their pronunciation, but there were certain areas where I felt one could have improved. And I think that is with our elongated words. We try to we just push it when we speak. We use those ers and so on when we speak, so we can try to work on that. And that obviously can be done through more practice. It'll soften those edges, it'll make it ready for you. And all you have to do is evaluate and speak more and more at our meeting, Speech Weavers. And last but not the least, the word of the day. And I must say, I'm very crestfallen that only one of you happened to use the word of the day today, and that was Toastmaster Rangarajan. Thank you very much for using the word of the day. A round of applause for Toastmaster Rangarajan for having used the word of the day in the right context. The word of the day today was bizarre, and the meaning of the word is very strange or unusual. And I happen to give a couple of usages, but right now, given that not all of you have happened to use the word of the day, I would like all of you to repeat after me. I have a sentence that I'd like to speak as part of this meeting, and I'd like all of you to repeat after me. And by doing so, all of us would have completed this exercise of using the word bizarre. Repeat after me. All of you unmute yourself right now. Come on. I see Bidu, he has unmuted himself. We have Nimisha, we have Gunjan, we have Nelson. Yes, all of you repeat after me. The sentence is, our grammarian for today. Yes, repeat after me. Our grammarian for today.
Our grammarian
grammarian
for today
is so bizarre.
Is so bizarre.
He's so bizarre that he wouldn't stop.
He's so bizarre that he wouldn't stop
uttering the word of the day.
Uttering the word of the day.
Uttering the word of the day.
Bizarre.
In this bizarre meeting.
In this
I'd
bizarre.
like all of you to repeat after me once again. I think it was slightly less structured as opposed to what I expected. The sentence goes, our grammarian for today.
Our grammarian
for today
is so bizarre.
It's so bizarre
that he would not stop uttering the word.
That he would not stop uttering the word.
Bizarre.
Bizarre.
In this bizarre meeting.
Bizarre.
Thank you very much. I'd like all of you to go back home and perform this exercise. And that is my grammarian report. Back to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you, Adarsh, for conducting the kindergarten classes for the word of the day. I would suggest one thing from you, that whenever you say that the particular word is not correct, you should always say in a humble way, instead of it is not, it shall be like this. So a little bit of humbleness is required on such corrections as a grammarian. So that will encourage people also to follow you. Now coming to my general evaluation, the SAA started well on time, and they also spoke about the vision of the Toastmasters and also the house rules of the club that has to be followed in the beginning itself. And coming to our presiding officer, he has really handled this stage very well. in inviting the guest and asking them about their understanding of our club functioning and also their opinion on visiting our club during this time, and also requesting the audience to attend all the time whenever the club is in function. Coming to the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster is a dynamic personality of our Speechweavers Club. There is no second thought of it. She is well-mannered, well-spoken, well-audible, at the same time, a dictionary of vocabularies that she has been exhibits every time she attends the meeting. I don't know where I could see Toastmaster of the day. Is she not there? Deepa is not there.
She is there.
Okay. She has carried out the entire stage in a well-mannered and well-distinguished way, I would say. And kudos to this Toastmaster of the day for that organization of the entire meeting. Now, I would like to say in general, I thank all the Toastmasters who have really participated as a guest, as well as our own Speechweavers Toastmasters who have performed so well, and kudos to each and every one of you. It's a very amazing meeting, entertaining, as well as a little bit of fun also we had today on the stranger's point of view. It was really good. And I wish you all the best, a very good evening to each and every one of you with your family and friends. God bless you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
So I think, Deepa, you are having a little bit of network issues. So in the meantime, I request everyone to switch on their videos because I'm going to click a picture of this meeting. So I'll give you 3 to 4 more seconds so that you can turn on your video camera so that I can see you.
Can you wait for Toastmaster of the day? Is it possible?
Yes, we are waiting for her.
Oops, I'm so sorry.
We are having a photo session, so you can turn on your video if you are comfortable.
Yes, I'm so sorry. So we had a wonderful evaluation segment, and I hope you all realize your strengths and your.
Deepa, we are going to have a photo session right now.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Guess what happened? I was awake the whole night yesterday, and I nodded off right in the middle of a meeting. So I thought I was summoned to continue the rest of the day. So I forgive you for the disruption. So happy faces then.
That's fine, Deepa. I think this reason has brought a wide smile to everyone's faces, which works well for me. And everyone's photo is taken. Thank you so much. And Deepa, you can continue.
If I could ask, am I supposed to continue? It's G is done, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. And I hope you all heard what Toastmaster Joseph is. He's offering many suggestions on how you could improve and how you could take your performance one notch up for the very next meeting. I wish you luck with all of that. And now I had something to speak about before we sign off regarding talking with strangers. It's a very interesting book. I would like you all to go for it. It's a book which is almost a page turner thriller kind, which explores the psychological aspects of everyday things in a very, very beautiful way. It's one of the gifts of Malcolm Gladwell. So do pick that up, Talking to Strangers, Malcolm Gladwell. It's not a recent release, but if you haven't, I urge you to. So at the end, what I would like to say is we have no choice but to talk to strangers, especially in our modern borderless world, when we are not living in villages anymore. So let's take the opportunity and assume the best in each of us, because that's the way to go if we are to create a modern society. On certain occasions, we tend to lose that trust, but let's keep going. And in the first place, let's assume the best in each other. With that, I would like to hand over the control to who's the presiding officer, acting presiding officer, Bidu?
I will take.
To our presiding officer, Bidu.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepa. I would just like to mention on your last part about author Malcolm Gladwell. Yes, I would also recommend it to everyone. I have gone through one of his books, Outliers, and I'm sure the other books which he has written are equally insightful for every one of us to read. In the meantime, I had shared the voting link in the chat box. I can see 3 people have already responded. For the others, I request everyone to go into that link, vote for your favorite role takers. Because today I was just pulling my hair voting myself, because everyone was so competitive. Everyone was at par with the respective roles that we were taking. But I feel that's the beauty of this voting. If 2 people are at par and someone outvotes the other person has a good enough reason to better himself the next time he comes on stage. So I'll give you 1 more minute, because I still see less responses in the link. All right. In the meantime, I would carry out the presiding officer's responsibilities as well, because Subhadeep, who is our original presiding officer, has had to leave because of some urgent work. I'm just navigating the voting link as well. All right.
I think I can meanwhile. I think you can go ahead.
That's fine. It's all right. Thank you again. This is on behalf of everyone in Speechweavers Toastmasters Club. You all joined us on a Friday and also on a festive occasion. So we really value your interest towards our club. I hope everyone who came to our club today has taken something away, which is going to elevate you somewhere in your growth aspirations. I again thank the role takers for carrying out the responsibilities to the best of their abilities. The guests especially, thank you again for joining us. If you want to become a part of the Toastmaster, you can click on any of the links that are being shared in the chat box, or connect to any one of us, especially Toastmaster Adarsh, who is the VP membership of Speechweavers Club. With this, I would like to invite few guests to share what they learned or what they, any new experiences that they got in this particular meeting. I would like to invite Gunjan. Gunjan, if you can share a little bit of your experience that you had in today's meeting.
Yeah, sure. It was really nice experience, and I really came to know about where I can make the improvement. And as Toastmaster Joseph said, that I got the time, but I have not utilized it properly. So definitely next time I'll keep that in mind, and with the gestures also, and it's really a good learning over here. I'm really looking forward to have more
Thank you.
such
Thank you,
sessions
Gunjan.
to attend. Thank you so
We
much.
also enjoyed your presence in our club. Moving on to Alish. Alish, I could not fit in you in the table topic session, but just share a little bit about how you came to know about us. What did you take away from this particular meeting?
So it's like second meeting for me. I attended 15 August also and this one also. So by these 2 meetings, I got to clear how the Toastmaster session goes and how it's completely session gets away. It was really helping out everyone, and see, the one important thing is feedback, and this feedback it's really improve anyone and everyone. So that's one of the key takeaway, and the way everyone is get evaluated, it's helped them in a long way. So that's one of the most important thing for me, and yeah, that's one thing will be keep poking me to just attend every Toastmaster sessions.
All right. Thank you so much, Alish. Nimisha, we would love to hear from you, but before that, I would just like to announce the results. So let's see. So the first one is interesting because the first one, the award goes to the best supporting role, and I was actually competing with myself. It was me with the Zoom Master or me with SA. So I won it for, let me see for what I won it. I won it for an essay. So I also feel I did that a little bit better than the Zoom Masters role. So thank you everyone for voting. The best role taker, I felt it is a very, very close competition, which the voting also mentions. TMOD Deepa, you won the best role taker and you have nudged our general evaluator, Toastmaster Joseph, by 1 vote. So Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Deepa, you are the best role taker for today's meeting. Coming to the auxiliary role taker, Grammarian Toastmaster Adarsh, you have won it by a margin. So congratulations to you. I think it's pretty bizarre that being bizarre on this particular podium actually got you more votes, but nevertheless, you are fine in this particular meeting. Now coming on to the best speaker, I think it's again a very, very close competition. We had a total of 7 votes. I think, yes, we have a total of 7 votes and Nimisha outvoted Rangaraj by just 1 vote. So congratulations, Nimisha, you won the best speaker award in today's meeting. Now coming to the best evaluator, this best evaluator award is won by Toastmaster Vanshika. Toastmaster Vanshika, a big congratulations to you. I think this is the first time for you in Speech Weavers Club, and you have actually taken or pipped Toastmasters Adarsh, who is actually a very, very good evaluator by himself. And the final award for today's meeting goes to Toastmasters Meena. Toastmaster Meena, you have won the best table topic speaker for today's meeting. Congratulations. And hope you come back again as a table topic speaker and you win again. With this, I go back to Nimisha, who has joined our Speech Weavers Club again, I think for the first time.
Second time.
All right, can you please share how did you feel about our club and what motivated you to come to our club and deliver this wonderful speech?
So I joined Rising Speakers Toastmasters Club 3 months back. So I'm very new to Toastmasters Club and I'm serving as a Sergeant at Arms in Rising Speakers. I get to meet Prerna a lot and she always talks about Speech Weavers. And I do have seen Adarsh in Rising Speakers a couple of times. And thanks to me and one of my friend who is a Toastmaster, Toastmaster Jaya, who encouraged me to join Toastmasters, and we visited last month our award function, and it was my honor to meet Joseph sir there personally, and I learned a lot from him. He is very ground to earth and a very humble person. So when I got to know that the Joseph sir is serving Speech Weavers from long and Adarsh is also part of that, last 2 weeks back, I joined the club. I thought that I will be the part of table topic, because that is something which everybody wants to attend and attempt that table topic. Though I did not get that chance because it's like a time constraint. And then this was my second speech, which was like after the feedback. And thanks Joseph sir and Vanshika for giving such a wonderful and constructive feedback. Yes, as a person, we sometimes doesn't even understand what falls or what are the mistakes we do. Like when I got that key, I was not facing the camera. I was like, oh, this is the first time I did not even see what I had written. But the way I was looking, maybe it's like I was reading from somewhere, because that was something which was scripted on my head from top to bottom, but it looked like I'm reading from somewhere. So that's where I have to see where and how I can make that eye contact in a better way. And once again, thank you, Vidhu, for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this Speech Weavers Club. And yes, I'm a big fan of Adarsh because he comes to Rising Speakers and sometimes as a TMOD and 1 or 2 times as an evaluator. And I always love his evaluation. He gives the crisp and very constructive feedback to all of us. Thank you so much. I would love to be the part of this group as many times as I can. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nimisha. I think we also echo your thoughts. We would love to have you again and again. as a speaker or as any role taker, you can just ping me up and we are happy to allow you in our club. So with this, I think we are almost 20 minutes off 6:30, which is quite late. So I would like to close this meeting. Thank you everyone for joining in again. Bye-bye.